The IORA Cup Series remains in the West Coast for the fourth race of the championship tour. But after, of course, we found ourselves at California this time around for the third official points-paying race in the fourth week of competition. It's not instead going to be in California. It's going to be in Arizona. This is the Phoenix Raceway. We'll find ourselves live with the Phoenix 125 in just a few minutes. Qualifying wrapping up with River Page, the top of the board, and drivers still setting down hot laps as we get set for another exciting race here in the IORA Cup Series. Defending winner Daniel Mosteller after a tremendous performance in Fontana, and now looking to see if someone else can climb up to the top step of the podium. Once again, this is the Phoenix 125, and you can see Phoenix, Arizona. We're in Phoenix Raceway, and in specific Avondale, Arizona, where this track resides. 1 mile circuit, one of the shortest tracks on the schedule, the shortest track to this point this season. And coming back after a brief interruption with our server connection, we'll be good to go for the rest of the way. Grid on your screen right now. Qualifying has concluded, and the number 24 machine of River Page finds himself at the top. So without further ado, let's find out what makes up your starting grid. The biggest field this season of 26 registered drivers looking to go to battle here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's going to be the Phoenix Raceway hosting the Phoenix 125. So let's find out what's going on in Avondale with your top man, River Page, holding the pole position over Sean Conklin, your Daytona winner, in the second place. Top two going to be made up of two very competitive drivers this season. Page was one of the guys fighting for victory last week in Auto Club, and Conklin's already got one to his own. Then from there, Sean Rowe going to be starting the third spot with Kenny Reel in fourth, and fifth and sixth will be held by Chase Schaefer and Nathan Palawada in that number 78 on his first start. Max Molina going to be starting in seventh with Daniel Mosteller, position number 8, and ninth will be held by Michael Cormenis with Henry Calla, position number 10. 63 machine going to round out the top 10, a stacked field tonight, and from there on out, still some big talent. Daytona winner last season, Corey Lowes, finds himself now in 11th. Vincent Guecci in 12th in that 09 machine. He was chasing victory last week too, didn't get the strategy to play off the rest of the race. First half was strong, now looking to back it up with a stronger second half in a shorter event overall. Then from there, Matthew Brower going to be starting in 13th, his first start this season, and TJ Hanley finds himself 14th in the 08 machine. Further on out, it's going to be Chad Thornquist on debut, position number 15 in the number 67 machine, and Alexander Valdez in number 95 will be starting 16th, just outside of your top 15 indeed. CD Mangrum going to be starting now in the 17th spot, inside line here in 17th, row 9, and outside will be James Thurston, opting not to take a qualifying lap in that number 4. Then from there, Brandon Dugan going to be starting in the 55 machine, 19th on the order, and then the final driver, Marcus Fannerly, 20th to round out the top 20. From there on out, still a few other drivers that did not take a time. Look from there, and you're going to see John Smith in 21st, Will Shack 22nd, and the 23rd spot will be Braxton Whitaker with Michael Deitch. Final two drivers on the field, looks like one is already disconnected, but Aiden Walker scored 25th and last to round out the starting grid here in Phoenix. The Phoenix 125 ready to kick off here from Avondale, Arizona, the real-life site of the NASCAR Cup Series Championship. And tonight, we're still very early in the season, but a win would mean an awful lot in the full season point format. River Page, chasing his first win of the season, finds himself on the bottom side, and it looks like we'll stay pacing. Pit lane, you saw the pace car come down, but the drivers will not get going this time by some trouble. And it looks like one driver we're missing here, Sean Conklin, getting back up there. So looks like some drivers getting back on the way on the track. Looks like the shuffling of the grid is not going to lead us to a start this time around. So the pace car comes back out and we'll be ready to reset and go at it this time through. Looks like Conklin not going to be starting in his side spot for the grid. He'll be sending himself to the back of the field with an end-of-line penalty to see how much better he can do driving up through the field. Must have been going for some pole position bonus points, but in the end, River Page was the man who got them. So now it's going to be Conklin trying to make those passes, find out how much pace he has naturally, and go from there to see if he can compete for the race victory. The two drivers up in front on your front row now. Real is going to be on the high side, River Page down low. They both want a race win to get themselves firmly in the title battle. Number 24 machine for Miata Gang Designs will lead them to the green flag, and we're underway from Phoenix Raceway. 125 laps of action start here and now with the apron already packed up. And the drivers come around, new man going to be in second, but River Page remains in first. Very good start for that number 24 machine. River going to be up in the first place. Chase Schaefer then second, but Chase drives down low. And a number 99 machine returning to the IORA Cup Series with a vengeance. Now finds himself with a race lead as they come down the back straightaway, 2 laps in of 125. Now, it looks like here at Phoenix Raceway, things have changed an awful lot within the past decade. Now, where the start-finish line used to be on that very straight section of the course, it's been moved to the exit of turn 4, and as soon as you get by that final turn, you're off to the apron and dog leg, which are now used as extra track real estate. At one point, that dog leg was not open for racing use, but now it is suitable. With all that pavement down there, you can cut a lot of time out your lap if you do it just right, and it looks like Chase Schaefer able to do just that. Great start now for that number 99 machine. Chase Schaefer going to be up in front over River Page, Max Molina, and Michael Cormenis. Now, top 3 going to include your FORL Cup Series defending champion, and last time Max Molina had a big race here at Phoenix, he came out with the race victory. It was, of course, for the Season 2 championship in the FORL Cup Series, a Final Four battle to remember with James Thurston, Ross Corlett, and his teammate at the time, Ian Sean Rowe. Eventually, Molina was able to outlast them all and find himself in victory lane by the end of day. Overall, a well-earned performance and victory for that 45 team. But tonight, the championship's not on the line, so maybe a bit less practice as of recent here in Phoenix, and that might lead to a bit of a different driving style for this number 45 Moneyline Camry. Up in the second spot, going to be River Page there in the number 24. Chase Schaefer going to be first, and mostly calm racing up ahead. Defending winner Daniel Mosteller and the number 87 team are now hounding the back bumper of Corey Lyles. Corey finds himself now in 6th, Daniel Mosteller in 7th, and most of the field abiding their time already as they set themselves up for the long haul here in Avondale. And good to see some very conservative racing right now, knowing what it means to get to the end of the race. A lot of these drivers not having a lot of experience at slower pace tracks with this IORA field. A lot of these guys coming in for this season for the first time as rookies, and they have only seen very close to SuperSpeedway Racing, if not the real deal. Daytona, not only for the duels, which was the first week of racing, but our first points-paying race with the Breadstick Designs 125, then Auto Club, another very fast track. So overall, these drivers might not be all too familiar with what it takes to run well in a situation like this, establishing that racecraft, getting the strategy together. It's not the same as going as fast as you can each and every single lap. Here, it's a bit different. Drivers going to have to adapt with their approach. There's CD Mangrum going to go down to the bottom side on Henry Kaloff. Kaloff remains high, and at the line, looks like he's going to hit the wall just a bit. Not good so far for this number 63. Currently scored in 14th. He's been very quick in the most recent races he's competed in, not only here in IORA, but in the FORL Cup Series, or we've even seen him in the Saturday Night Truck Series live here on FTN. He's been a very consistent, versatile driver as they make it by one driver who has some trouble. That's Chad Thornquist, but he's not going to get involved with anyone, and Chad gets back on the way. 21st, and he's going to fall further. Thornquist is involved with the first incident, but it looks like no yellow flag going to be called. Single car spin. Luckily, nobody else gets caught up in it, and just like that, Thornquist gets back on the move. Nice and smooth recovery for Chad Thornquist, and the rest of the field responds accordingly. No issue. Lap 9 of 125 here on FTN, and as always, brought to you by Tango Paints. We'll bring you, of course, a little more info about our official graphic design partner after we find out what caused this wreck. And Chad, running inside the top 5, ends up down to the bottom of the track, and he only loses it after most of the field goes by. Makes a very honest effort at saving it, but just can't get it going. 360s it, and by the time Balderas passes him, no chance anyone is going to hit, so thankfully nothing comes of it. Chad Thornquist back on the way, and 10 laps in, Chase Schaefer is the man on top as we brought you lap 9 courtesy of our friends at Tango Paints. Once again, the highest quality iRacing sim liveries, paint schemes, whatever you call them, they have them, and they have them in excess. So if you want to join the Tango Paints family and represent your sim racing identity, check out Tango Paints on Twitter. Tolo and the entire team making incredible designs that you see on FTN with guys like Joey Stone, bringing together some fantastic designs and concepts here on the iRacing platform. Once again, check out Tango Paints on Twitter for more information as we bring you your Tango Paints promotional break of the day. We'll be right back after this brief message, courtesy of our friends at Tango Paints. Coming back now, 13 laps in of 125, we once again like to thank Tango Paints for hopping on board as the official graphic design supplier of FTN. But no, for Chase Schaefer, he's got his own graphic design crew in mind. The Monster Designs team is up in front and doing very well so far, retaining that advantage. Going to be leading the way right now for Chase Schaefer. He's got some company right behind in River Page there in second. Max Molina is going to be third, and Sean Conklin going to be there in the fourth spot. That's the way they run as it stands, and the top 5 routed out by Michael Cormenis in the number 25. So far, very clean, very calm driving all throughout, and not much else to ride home about. These drivers knowing what it means to get to the end of the race as opposed to burning up your stuff very early. So nice to see some very respectful driving in play as drivers make it around lap after lap. That's the way it's gone to this point. Respect, single file, not many major battles. You see Matthew Brower there with a brand new look representing McDonald's, and Grimace going to be on the side right by the number, and you see right now that 73 remains closer and closer to the competition, inching up there as he has competition from James Thurston, looking up there with Sean Rowe too, and Rose found himself up in the number 4 machine. Sean's had a quiet start to this day, but it looks like now the 099 crew is getting back there where he'd like to be, up with Thurston and guys even further ahead. Braxton Whitaker's a lap machine though. He's 1 lap down on pace, so is TJ Hanley, and it looks like now lap machines already beginning to in fact impact the race and how it will go. So strategy might be changing already, having to go around these guys already off of the lead lap, but only 2 so far, and the next driver who's in jeopardy will be John Smith in that number 48. But Smith finds himself still several seconds away from your race leader in Chase Schaefer, and Chase remains advantageous as the number 99 machine holds himself up ahead 17 laps in of 125. Looking back, River Page going to be second, Max Molina's then third, Sean Conklin's fourth, and Michael Cormetis is in fifth. Corey Lyles is position number 6 with Daniel Mosteller seventh, and right now, your defending race winner not having much to ride home about. He was absolutely fantastic when it mattered the most at Auto Club and comes into the night as your points leader. 2-time champion, took a season off for season 3 to become the official off-track admin of the IORA Cup Series, but he's been back on top of things like he never left. Most recent race he won coming into this season was at Homestead. He got it done for the Season 2 championship, a 3-way battle for the title between himself, Mason Moriarty, and Thurston. He came in as the championship favored. He took away the title from his rivals and eventually got it done for 2 consecutive championships. He's the all-time winningest driver in this league and not only has success in the main series, but when IORA had a Formula 1 series, an Indycar series, and even an 87 series, Mosteller always a threat for the championship. I believe he has at least 1 secondary series title, either being in the Indycar or Formula 1 division, and with the IORA Classic Series runner-up in the championship winner there, David Kreutz. And you're watching live on FTN. I'm David Kreutz, bringing you all the action here, and Mosteller giving us a great show, but so is the remainder of the field. Great to have you all here on FTN. If you do enjoy the action of the IORA Cup Series, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for all the action here this season. 15 great races and 1 caution to kick off the night. Brandon Dugan goes around, and the yellow flag will fall. Number 55 the cause, and the 55 for TJ Hanley will spin to bring out the pace car for the first time today. Brandon Dugan brings out the yellow. Let's find out just what happened here as we're going to look with the 55 aerial shot over the track, and Brandon going to be loose off the corner, now going into turns 3 and 4. This might be the cause, already showing signs of a bit less control than most of the drivers, so Dugan's going to dive in deep into 3 and 4, coming up the track to the start-finish line, and goes back down to the apron and loses it on the transition, spins it, and luckily doesn't come up very far, but that's a safety yellow to ensure the drivers are not hit by the number 55 of Brandon Dugan. Overall, very good on him to not get involved there and keep himself down low. Number 55, Brandon Dugan, brings out your first yellow, and it's going to be a safety yellow with Daniel Mosteller scored as your race leader, 21 laps in out of 125. Chase Schaefer going to lead a majority of the field down to pit road this time through, and now we've got ourselves a race on pit road. So strategy calls already going to be made with the caution flying for the first time today, and as you can see, there's going to be River Page, Sean Conklin, Sean Rowe too, but Corey Lyles gets the jump. Lyles wins off pit road from Sean Rowe, James Thurston, and then it's going to be Chase Schaefer, River Page. See then Max Molina and Michael Cormetis, so a huge shuffle up there. Daniel Mosteller now finds himself ahead. The podium much different. Going to be Mosteller, Matthew Brower, and Alexander Balderas, and that's the way it's gone. 22 laps in of 125, or that's the way it could go. Now these three drivers up ahead, they have not been up front for the good majority of the race. Now Mosteller's been having a top 10 run to this point, but Brower and Balderas a bit further back. Not to say they won't have pace as the night goes on, not to say they won't be competitive, but at the same time, these drivers are going to be working on a different strategy, especially with the opportunity in mind to gain some extra points. Knowing they have not been up here to this point, there's a chance to change up how the race goes. Brandon Rismiller in chat, representing, of course, the Hub Motorsports and their teammate in Max Molina, so some fan support there. 22 through, we'll get back at it once again. Looking to restart at lap number 25 here, as it's Mosteller, Brower, and Chad Thornquist. 1, 2, 3, as we'll get it going yet again. And looking for the back, some big strategy calls made for drivers in the back of the field too. CD Mangrum going to be able to get back up into 15th. Michael Deitch is then going to be 16th, and John Smith will be 17th. Brandon Dugan's going to be position number 18, and Henry Kaloff is then 19th. Looking further back, Shaq, Balderas, and Vanderlei fade to the bottom. It looks like Alexander Balderas opts to head down to pit road yet again, so he'll fade out of the top 3, and the number 95 gets back on the roll after a 1-minute pit stop just to escape the wrath of the leaders who will come by pit road at the same time. Daniel Mosteller leads the way, and all of a sudden the two-time champion is looking for a third, and he has been the man this season. 23 laps in of 125, still very early to say whether or not he will compete for the race win, but if there's any driver who's going to give everyone a run for their money no matter what race it is, I think Demos is the man to really think about. He has been fantastic to this point, nobody else on his level, and as they come through this time by 24 laps in of 125, it's going to be Mosteller, Thornquist recovering up to second, and Matthew Brower. These are the three drivers that have stayed out on the track, and they're looking forward to doing it all over again. Even if they're risking it, there's a ways to go. If it's not the right call, then you'll find out later and eventually put yourself back on the right strategy. So experimenting early, make the decisions now, and don't make the mistakes later. That's the game plan for every driver so far as we come to lap number 25 for the first restart of the day. Daniel Mosteller going to lead him in. Chad Thornquist going to be there second, and Matthew Brower going to be side by side with Corey Lyles as they come through out of turns 3 and 4 into the dog legs. They will go. 87 Machines got the jump. He will take him through the Geico restart zone, and the green flag will fly once again. Green's out led by Daniel Mosteller. We're back on the way from Phoenix. And a big stack up there. Caution is due to fly, and that it does. Yellow flag is out. Huge spin. Michael Cormetis gets caught up in it. CD Mangrum, and just like that, another yellow flag as soon as we bring ourselves out the first. Caution's out. Let's take a look back and find out what happened here. Looks like some trouble on the restart brings out this yellow. Instant replay going to show you what in specific caused this incident. So as the drivers come through this time around, beating and banging just a bit more. Cormetis going to be with River Page. Kenny Reel right there alongside him. Balderas going to drop down to the bottom deep, and as Alexander Balderas goes, Brandon Dugan goes high, and at this point, yep, Dugan goes up to Cormetis. Nathan Palabra going to go with Vincent Guecci, and that's what will bring out the yellow. Huge stack up with some aggressive motion early. Looks like Brandon Dugan not liking what Balderas did, drifting up the track, and that will bring out the caution all the same. 26 laps in of 125. Daniel Mosteller still going to lead him. No major changes after that yellow flag, save for the back of the field. Some drivers actually getting their spots back, like Balderas now back up into 12th. Looks like other drivers, including Nathan Palawada, going to get away from the absolute bottom ranks, but he's going to go down to pit road instead just to make sure all is well for the rest of the day. So some drivers opting to go down to pit road once again. Damage repair, just making sure everything's all right. And just like that, caution flies, back-to-back yellows to start the second runoff, and it looks like we'll wait a bit more to get back on the move. Estimates say we'll be going back green at lap number 29, if not 30, and we've now at least got 2 more laps to go to wait to get back on the way. Mosteller had a great jump off the line, that's all he needed, and Brandon, of course, Matthew Brower, I'll say, in second. Corey Lyles there. Just some big issues in the back of the field. Brandon Dugan, the man we mentioned there. Braxton Whitaker, not good starts there. Braxton Whitaker is now 5 laps down, as a matter of fact, so trouble for the 51. Brandon Dugan, most recently involved in the caution. Chad Thornquist fades back to 22nd, so up and down. Thornquist opts to go to pit road after the first yellow, and now with some changes, we'll get back to it once more. Green flag set to fly all over again. Let's get it done. Led by Daniel Mosteller. Driver's going to opt to go high or low. Choose rules in effect. Daniel chooses high, and then you'll see Matthew Brower choose down low. But it looks like they'll reset yet again, and that will not be the official choosing lap. Just a signal of what is to come, as TJ Hanley going to come through as well. Michael Cormetis, Corey Lyles, and now some drivers double file, sorting out positions. Next lap, it will be official, and we'll head back green at lap number 30 of 125. So far, so good. 2 yellow flags. Back-to-back so far, but a good run to start off the race, so hopefully we get back in the swing of things here and see a bit less aggression as drivers come around. Mosteller is going to take the top, swerve back down low, and keep it back and forth until the time is right to get back racing. As they come around this time by, former race leader River Page is going to get up to the 9th spot here. Not where he'd like to be at all, of course, hoping to be back up there in the top 5 or even the podium. But right now, for River, of course, there's still a lot of time to get those spots back. So not much a worry, knowing the future still much longer than what we've seen in the past. There's still a lot more time remaining than what we've gone through, so if you've decided on a few things so far, you can still change them, make some different strategy calls, and end up making the right decisions to get back in the leading battle as we get double file yet again. Daniel Mosteller down low, Corey Lyles up high, Matthew Brower, and it looks like Sean Conklin 3rd and 4th, as Chase Schaefer will have to put himself back into the slot just behind the number 56. Green flag set to fly at lap number 30 of 125. iRacing official pace car drops in this time through, and Mosteller and Lyles will bring them back in as they go down the front straightaway and into the dog leg they will be. It's going to indeed be all down to the 87 and the 56 yet again. Defending winner looking to go for a two-peat this season. Corey Lyles still trying to break an over season-long winless streak. What can they do so far? It's up to them to find out. Green flag set to fly, and here it will go. Barney the flagman waves the green flag for the second time today. Green's back on the way, led by Mosteller with some little bit of trouble back there, but no yellow comes from it. And the caution does fly once again. Yellow flag is out for another immediate incident, and it looks like yellow flag will be brought out because of what looks to be Will Shack getting involved with an incident. Yellow flag flies back to back to back. So after a great start to the race, we're fighting some trouble yet again. Looks like not everyone was bunched up with the field here. Will Shack eventually gets there, so let's find out what caused it, as another yellow flag brings us back to pacing immediately after we get going. Taking a look at this 35 machine back of field. Let's find out if he causes the wreck or if it's a bit up in front of him. Sean Rowe going to be in the middle of the pack. You already see some three-wide racing, and no, it's going to be a huge hit for TJ Hanley, and TJ brings out the yellow flag first, so already drivers spinning And that's another example of aggressive driving as soon as the restart comes out. So, man, oh man, double back-to-back yellow flags very early, and we'll see what caused it for TJ. And gets caught up in the transition, and just like that, going to be 23rd right now. Not good at all, as another driver gets caught on that transition point, which will bring out the yellow yet again. Daniel Mosteller leads him, and it's just an unnecessary yellow to add to the first one, so hopefully drivers are going to learn from this experience and don't do that once again. Of course, nobody wants to see consistent yellow flags, especially when they're that avoidable. But TJ Hanley looks to make up a lot of positions there. He was already working the strategy very well, avoiding the wrecks, and he got a bit more advantageous, shall we say, or a little more aggressive. He wanted to get more positions, make out a bit more of an advantage for himself, and it looks like it's not going to pay off. So, yellow flag out once again. The green flag set to drop at lap 34. Daniel Mosteller still leads, looking to get back in a rhythm here in Phoenix, and it looks like the Phoenix 125 having some trouble in the early stages. For those tuning in for the first time tonight, great to have you all aboard. This has been the Phoenix 125 here in Avondale, Arizona. The Phoenix Raceway playing host to the third round of the season, and already your defending winner, Daniel Mosteller, finds himself there in first. Sean Conklin, your Daytona winner, going to be there in second, and third place now going to be held by Chase Schaefer on the high side. Matthew Brower right there as well. Second row, number 73 of Brower and the number 99 of Chase Schaefer. Now let's see what these guys can do. It looked like we have escaped the original piece of contact on the second yellow, but still got one before the yellow flag flew again. We were back at the stripe, and it looks like no clean lap ever since our first 20-odd lap run. Let's get back at it this time by, though, and hope to make some improvements as the field comes back yet again. Green flag set to fly at lap number 34, and that it will. Double file racing going to be headed by Daniel Mosteller, and Sean Conklin now going to find himself second to your current race leader. Let's do it all over again with Mosteller leading them down to the restart zone. Daniel's going to take him to the start-finish line and put the green flag back in motion. We're back on the way from Phoenix, led by Daniel Mosteller. Green flag is on the move. And while Balderas is going to hit the wall, we might see trouble again. It looks like another driver finds himself in the back, but no issue. Everyone keeps it clean. You saw CD Mangrum go down low. Alexander Balderas in the wall too, but everyone saves it. Balderas somehow remains inside the top 10, and we will all stay green despite the troubles. Now Balderas is going to hit the wall once more and keep on competing, trying to get a better drive off the corner with that hit, but it's going to be risky here as he goes 3 wide with the 73 of Brower, bangs on his door, and it looks like now the 95, a bit of a hazard in the bottom side of the track. He'll try to take it. John Smith there too. Looks like Michael Bunch now going to make a pass, and all of a sudden, Balderas fading big as the field is trying to get back in a groove. James Thurston now going to be fighting for the race lead. Thurston takes it way down low, has himself the top spot, and it looks like now James Thurston has the race lead over Daniel Mosteller and even Chase Schaefer getting by for second. New man on top. It's going to be James Thurston up ahead, then Chase Schaefer second. 1-2 for the Ford, the number 99, with River Page coming by as well. And River's going to take it down to the low side. The number 24 machine from Miata Gang going to make it happen and slice and dice with Daniel Mosteller. Up and down the order, we're seeing some passes now as drivers get back in formation. Front of the field already getting a bit more dicey. Take a look off the back bumper of James Thurston here from your current race leader's perspective. This is, as a matter of fact, all it takes to get up in front. Clean air and maintaining it. So for Thurston, having a very good drive on that restart, getting in that clean air, and now he's going to find himself in second as Chase Schaefer just got by. So the high side works out well. This is from former race leader James Thurston's perspective as River Page now puts down pressure at the same time. River Page now trying to get into it, and he will go right down low. The Goodyear rubber gonna nearly make contact, quarter panel to quarter panel, but nothing comes of it there as James Thurston stays up ahead in second. Conklin might have brushed the wall there, no big issue, and the drivers using every inch of the track might have to scrape the wall once or twice to make things happen. Thurston now going to remain in the second spot. Chase Schaefer there in the lead, and 39 laps in of 125. That's the way it's gone to this point. Front runners are escaping yet again. As it stands, no retirees on the field. Daniel Mosteller going to be, of course, fading back as the caution flies again. Looks to be this time for John Smith getting away from a huge wreck. Chad Burnquist is destroyed, and the yellow flag will fly yet again. Huge wreck. 67's night is done. Looks like no faster pair in the session, save for one, and he's already used it. Thornquist avoids Michael Deitch and then gets hit by John Smith, who is still going up the track, and then Thornquist caught up in the secondary piece of then Marcus Vanderlee. So a huge hit, and Chad Thornquist somehow under yellow gets the worst of it, and that's the caution flying 40 laps in of 125. Chase Schaefer leads the way, and just like that, we're back under yellow for the third time today. Early troubles starting to set in, caution after caution, then another yellow, and it looks like even under the yellow flag, things getting a bit worse. So the chain reactions have been the most disastrous part of the night so far. Trying to avoid them will be key, because these drivers, I mean, they're trying to make moves for themselves right now, and it makes sense. Of course, early in the going, you do not want to lose every piece of track position, but a guy like John Smith getting involved with Chad Thornquist under yellow like that, it's unfortunate that it happened. Both drivers maybe not paying enough attention to what's going on, and that's going to cost them dearly for the rest of their race. Thornquist, who was of course trying to navigate through, he was going slow, still got his. John Smith creeps up the track, and that's going to impact them both big time. So I'm sure they're both not happy with each other as Chase Schaefer leads the way. Schaefer's now up in front. He's got River Page right there too. Then going to be Sean Conklin, not too far behind, Michael Cormetis, and then Max Molina with Kenny Reel, position number 6. So top 5 as it stands going to be Chase Schaefer, River Page, Sean Conklin, Michael Cormetis, and Max Molina. That's the way they're going so far. 41 in at 125, and so far so good for your guys up at the head of the field. Now coming down to the white flag, of course, in pace car terms, when the pace car's lights are off. Almost like the white flag of a caution. So we'll only have one more lap of pacing, and then we'll get back on the way as drivers are already going to be signaling where they go. Looks like the caution extended one more lap, so a bit premature in that regard. 44 of 125 will head back green, and looks like now one retiree in Chad Thornquist. Balderas is 1 lap down. TJ Hanley is 12 laps down, but still both are racing, so Thornquist opting to disconnect after immense damage comes to his number 67. I don't think realistically there'll be a way for Chad Thornquist to continue given all the damage that there was on that number 67. Coming through this time by River Page down low, Chase Schaefer up high, and they're set to do it all over again. Bit of swerving back and forth. Looks like it's going to be Sean Conklin still trying to decide where to go. He's got 2 great drivers to follow here, so not going to be in bad hands either way. Balderas goes up to the high side of the track to get his lap back. He'll be back on the lead lap here as they come through this time by. Caution set to fly until lap 44. Now pace car lights will be officially off, and it's going to be Chase Schaefer at the stripe, choosing to go down low. Schaefer going to lead him, and it looks like it's going to be Sean Conklin taking some track position up top. Choose rule once again in effect, and it looks like Schaefer actually going to get a violation here and be sent down the order. So Chase Schaefer going to lose all that time. River Page is now the control car, and Sean Conklin is going to be up high in the second position. For Ryco Performance, Sean Conklin's been a bullet this season. Number 54 machine already winning at Daytona, and he looks to be one of the guys with the most promise on the tour. He's become a substantially better driver since the end of season 2, when we last saw him consistently compete. And now, with 43 laps in a 125, he's clawed up to second again. Now, Mosteller and Schaefer are behind him. We'll see what he can do with a bit of open track as he'll compete side by side with the River Page as the green flag will fly once more. Geico restart zone. They'll grab the gears once again. River Page leads them. Conklin drops low for a big switch over, but it looks like River remains advantageous as they come through the dogleg once again. nice drive in for River Page on the middle of the groove. Sean Conklin down low at the line. Looks like Sean going to have that race lead. And just like that, new man at the top of the charts. It's going to be Sean Conklin leading the way in that Shelby GT 500. And just like that, the 54 has himself the lead for the first time today. Been back and forth. Your former race leader, River Page, who started oh so well up in the front row, grabbing that pole position, now sees your second place qualifier shoot right by him. Additional information regarding today's race: Marcus Vanderlee has retired from the session 2. Two retirees. TJ Hanley on pit road for 16 laps now. He remains still eligible to get back on there, but two drivers have officially disconnected as Kenny Reel sees some trouble. Kenny fades back, nobody else there with him. Luckily keeps it going, and the number 11 machine is back on the way. Sean Conklin, 46 laps in of 125, has himself that advantage. Then from there, River Page going to be second, Michael Cormetis third, and Max Molina now fourth. Looking at Vincent Guecci as the caution flies again. Daniel Mosteller this time almost involved. Brandon Dugan, though, is in the wall, and that is a telltale sign of a yellow flag. Let's take a look back and find out what happened for another caution flag on the day. It looks like Dugan involved once again. Let's find out how this time around. And Dugan sent it so deep into the turn here right before turn 4, of course, the start-finish line. And it looks like from there, he sends himself up to the wall, gets some contact, Will Shack there, and just sending it oh so aggressively. And that's going to cause a yellow flag. Unfortunately, looks like Dugan trying to send it with some older tires, and that causes this incident all over again. 47 laps in of 125. Yellow flag will fly with another yellow flag involving Brandon Dugan. Dugan comes down to pit road. He'll take Will Shack in too, and now yellow flag once out again for your leader. Sean Conklin, the man up in front. River Page going to be second. Michael Cormetis is there in third, and the fourth spot is now held by the driver in the number, well, 45. Max Molina doing very well as he keeps himself in the top 5, and that's the way it's gone to this point. Remaining as the leader is going to be Sean Conklin. Rest of the field continues to follow as they'll head back in it once again. And 48 laps in of 125, it's going to be Sean Conklin and River Page first and second. Not many drivers coming down to pit road. It looks like Alexander Balderas is down yet again. He's going to be taking one lap down as he gets extensive damage repaired. And it looks like right now for Balderas still has a load of work to do in that number 95 Chevy Camaro. Going to be keeping it there on pit road, stationary for over a minute and 10 seconds. And he will be at least one lap down by the time he gets back on the track. Now what he might have to do is wait out this caution, get the damage fixed up, then go for another yellow as they do shorten it this time by. Now Conklin down low, River Page up top, and we'll be heading back green for lap number 50. And a great effort here for the admins to keep the race with a bit of a better flow. Sean Conklin remains on the bottom, River Page up top, and we'll be heading back to the green flag a bit earlier than anticipated. Let's do it once again here with the 54 and the 24 dueling. Now Sean Conklin's got the control car claim, and he's going to use that advantage to perhaps get the jump on the start here that he desperately requires to get away from the hard-charging River Page. Let's do it all over again here. 49 laps in of 125. Green flag is set to fly once more. Sean Conklin will lead him through with a Michael Cormetis now on his back bumper. And the green flag flies for Sean Conklin, able to get that great jump as he needed, and now going to find himself ahead of River Page in that second spot. Michael Cormetis going to hold his own then in third. Corey Lyles now going to be fourth, but taking a look now down low, James Thurston, he wants to work with Cormetis. He'll take himself down to the bottom to keep up with that number 25, and the two drivers now going to work over Corey Lyles. Lyles remains isolated on that top side, and we'll see Thurston work with Mikey here as they both drop down to the lowest groove that is possible. 51 laps in of 125, and once again, you can see James Thurston opt to go to the second groove. He's working back and forth here, trying to get momentum from both sides of the battle, and now finds himself up top looking for a pass. And while the high side is not being preferred by most drivers tonight, guys like James Thurston have a tendency to make it happen as another yellow flag flies, this time for Schaefer. Chase Schaefer alone brings out the caution. taking a look back, Chase Schaefer, yellow flag. Let's find out just what happened. 99 machine bumped by Guecci, sent up the track, and he's going to spin it around. Safety yellow. Thankfully, nobody hits him, but Chase Schaefer ends up far back in the field, much further than he'd like, and 52 laps in, this is your 5th yellow of the day. How about it for Chase Schaefer and the Monster Designs crew, as the yellow flag is out yet again from a front runner early, and even before the halfway point, getting some damage which he'd love to avoid, but it looks like now it's going to be even harder to continue the race with the competitive run. Sean Conklin leads the way, River Page, then second, Corey Lyles, then in third. How's about we checking your overall race summary to this point, and officially, this is your 6th yellow flag, as the back-to-back yellow flags did not count as the extension of one. So iRacing going to calculate it as an official score of 6 cautions, 19 caution laps so far out of the 52 that we've ran up to this point, 73 laps to go, remaining, I think it'll be 70 when we get back to the restart, and so far, 6 lead changes, big swerve from Sean Conklin. And so far, multiple drivers having their shot at the race lead, and they're going to keep it that way as they come through yet again. Weather has been very fair here in Phoenix so far. Current conditions will tell you the story. Temperature 77 Fahrenheit and a very slight humidity once again, very minimal to keep an eye on, and north a wind of 2 miles an hour, so overall incredibly fair conditions. Not much for these drivers to worry about tonight, and I don't think that they'll keep it in the back of their minds, as there's a lot more to focus on in regards to the racing, as opposed to, of course, the weather and all those track conditions. When it becomes the nighttime here in iRacing, those conditions usually remain very stable. Not much to worry about after the sun goes down, so a lot of that strategic factor goes out the window when drivers are given the opportunity to work with a constant temperature, a constant amount of wind. Now understand what they're working with all night long, and they'll go into the dying hours of the night and maybe find a bit of sun when it shines all over again. But if it's the nighttime here in iRacing, conditions generally in the driver's favor. Not a slick track, not a lot of wind, everything seems to simmer down, and now the drivers get to bring the excitement on their own. Top 3 of Conklin, Page, Lyles going to come through this time by to get back on the move. Green flag going to be held once again in Sean Conklin's fingertips and lead him back to the green for restart number 6 of the day. Green flag's out, led by Sean Conklin as he drives down to the apron. We're back on the way with Barney the Flagman waving the green. And a big jump there for Sean Conklin to get that race lead with a big battle right behind. You'll see Michael Cormenis, Corey Lyles, James Thurston all going to be going for some spots. Mikey's going to drive it up to the second groove. He's got James Thurston there as well. And all of a sudden, 55 going on to 56 laps in. Number 25 machine going to put himself back in the podium picture as he hopes to race up in front there with a driver like Corey Lyles. And Lyles is looking good tonight. Matt might be his best finish ever since that win at Daytona a season ago, and ever since the IORA Cup Series switched once again to the next gens, he's had a bit of a struggle adapting with the best of the field and keeping up there night after night. But it looks like now those issues are slowly but surely beginning to fade away, and he's putting together another solid run. Last week at Auto Club had some top 10 pace and was up there in the big pack later in the racing, but here at Phoenix, big packs have not been developing as frequently. You gotta really have an understanding of self at this track. It's not about communication as much, not about the other drivers. You are about as important as it gets, and a lot of drivers able to affirm that notion as they're hitting their own marks, going for their own laps, driving it down to wherever they please. And River Page now drives it down to the bottom side, nearly goes below to the dog leg, but opts not to as he comes back up the track yet again. Ryko's number 54, Sean Conklin, remains out in front. River Page going to be second, and Corey Lyles is there in third. Mikey's going to be fourth, and James Thurston rounds out the top 5. That's the way it's gone so far, with the 24 machine of River Page holding his own in the runner-up position. Green flag still flying as River takes it way down south. Almost gets it done. Dog leg he's going to go through yet again. Run it down to the bottom side, slicing and dicing. 24 machines got himself a shot to the bottom, takes it there, and the battle for lead's going to be side by side coming to turns 3 and 4 all over again. River looking better and better every time he gets that chance to lunge down, and it looks like now he's in a good chance to keep that momentum even if he fades back a bit more. Relying on the draft and understanding his car, the biggest combination you can have at a track like Phoenix. If you know exactly how you want to drive it, it will help you out more than you would know. Even in the moment here, riding aboard River Page, you'll see he's going to try to work the car his own way, as opposed to Sean Conklin. Fourth gear, 8,800 revs a minute, backs it down, and let's look at the telemetry as well with the miles an hour shown live on your screen. Currently in second, and gets it up to 130, 140, and all the way up to just about 160 miles an hour, then backs it down, and you'll take a different entry to turns 2 and then to 3. You'll see River opts to go high side through turn 2, get a bit of a better run, and he's going to try to make it pay off through 3 and 4. Now diving it a bit lower, he'll take it there much like Sean Conklin, then put the power down, get that rotation going, and at the line, half a second separates their top 2 drivers. And this Ford Mustang going up to 160 at the fastest segment of the track. 62 laps in. Next time by, going to be your halfway marker with 62 laps to go. So far, so good. And now drivers getting back into the rhythm they like to be in. River's going to remain in the second spot. Corey Lyles holds his own for third, but look further back and you'll see a battle brewing just outside of the top 3. Michael Cormetis going to get that run off the corner. Nice move there for the number 25 machine. James Thurston going to lie back a bit more. Max Molina there as well, and it looks like Sean Rowe, 7th, even involved with the podium positions as well. River Page now going to see Corey Lyles chasing him, and Lyles looks much quicker. All of a sudden, Corey's got some pace, and he's looking to use it, not afraid to get up there and get involved in the battle. For Corey Lyles, this is one of the biggest opportunities he might have all season long when it comes to his ability to get up there and lead races, get those laps led up in front in the podium. It's not every week for this number 56. The competition here in the IORA Cup Series gets more and more stout every season, and this might be the biggest collection of competitive drivers we've seen all of the league's history. And that means it's even harder to get wins, podiums, or top 5, so it's a very commendable effort so far for Lyles, who has not been able to back up a lot of success ever since the switch to the next gens. Now turning over a new leaf and becoming that much better of a driver here in the Ford Mustang number 56. Michael Cormetis going to hold his own in 4th right now. Closest battle on the racing circuit is way back from these guys up in front. We'd have to take a look further on rear to the field. How's about the battle right now between Henry Kaloff and Brandon Dugan? They're fighting right now for the 13th position. Dugan has it, and it looks like now Henry Kaloff closer and closer to it as they're taken through 2 and 3 yet again. These guys in the back of the field battle, even though they're not up there for a lot of position, a lot of points on the day, they know every single spot, it will matter no matter what. For a guy like Henry Kaloff, who's running a full-time campaign, he would love to make it happen and get a better finish. As Michael Cormetis sees trouble, is this a yellow flag? It will not be. It will be, in fact, a green flag pit stop. Competitive stop for the first time today. Michael Cormetis is in, and the competitive pit stop means that he's coming in for strategic factors and not something out of his control, such as, say, an incident. If he got involved, spun down a pit road, looks like he's coming in under his own power, and Mikey's going to make it in this time by 67 laps in of 125. First man down a pit road for some service. And Sean Conklin's on the same strategy as him, so he'll have to think about that very soon. 67 laps in on the 68 of 125, and somehow, some way, these drivers are going to have to work down a pit road. Looks like Will Shack has some trouble, does not make the pit entry, and the 35 machine opts to stay out on the track, slowing down big, 21st that time by. He's on a 3-lap old stint, so he has no need to go down a pit road yet again. John Smith disconnecting from the session. Will Shack 3 laps down. There are still 20 drivers still racing, and as they come across the line yet again, 69 laps in for another very nice run. Sean Conklin has been looking very good this season and keeps that pace up, holding his own in that number 54. Conklin advantageous. River Page 2nd, Corey Lyles 3rd, and now you'll see Molina, Rowe, Brower fighting for the 4th spot. James Thurston has it, but everyone is still in for the taking. If they get a run, get enough speed, there might be a shot to take that away from the Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsport machine, but still, James Thurston has himself in that 4th spot, just outside the top 3 places. And that's the way it's gone so far. 70 laps in out of 125 here in the Phoenix 125. So far, some great racing from Avondale, Arizona. This has been the Phoenix Raceway, and ever since, of course, last season, we only go to this track once per season. Some drivers get experience in other leagues, but not a lot of guys race at Phoenix for fun, shall we say. Not one of the most popular tracks in the iRacing schedule. One of its biggest important factors is, of course, it's the championship race for the NASCAR Cup Series, and therefore a lot of leagues now take it to Phoenix as the championship race. But overall, Phoenix might not be the most frequently driven circuit for these guys who race on iRacing more often than most of the members on the service, and even then, they're driving very good right now, getting in that rhythm and looking after some early race troubles. Now the driver's back on the move, and this is what it's all about. Limited fuel load here in the IORA Cup Series, so they will not have the chance to go unlimited till the end. There is a guaranteed pit stop still remaining. Whether or not the drivers choose to make it right now, choose to go later, that is up to their discretion. Michael Cormetis went one lap down, coming down very early, and he still remains that way. Other drivers, Will Shack, he came down very recently. He's still off cycle by 3 laps, but most of your front runners have opted not to go for that method of strategic running. So far, Kenny Real going to be 8th right now with Matthew Brower ahead, as you'll see Sean Rowe and Max Molina fight side by side. For DeHub Motorsports, it's going to be Max Molina up high. For PBR and Paintbrush Racing, Sean Rowe right behind him, and the number 99 machine of Chase Schaefer way back. This is a 099. Both of them running the same numbers, but a different font. And tonight, while Chase Schaefer runs in blue, it's going to be Sean Rowe with an orange color. And it looks like now he'll be chasing that moneyline machine all over again. Molina gets the 5th spot, and now James Thurston looking to get back on Corey Lyles. River Page steeps in 2nd. He keeps it there in the runner-up spot and now has a steep advantage. And you'll see James Thurston slowly but surely work his way back up to Lyles all over again. Let's take a look on the roll bar camera here with the number 4 machine and see what's going on up on top of the car. And as they come through this time by, it's going to be Alexander Balderas in Thurston's way, drops down low, gets away from the leading drivers, and all of a sudden, that's enough of a run for James Thurston to go side by side with Lyles and take it deep enough to turns 3 and 4 to make that move. Corey Lyles up top, looks like a bit more trouble for him maintaining the position. He'll stay high and try to get a run as they go through the dogleg. Looks like a bit of contact with the apron for both, but Thurston has that lunge, and that is enough. Nice move for James Thurston. Now going to be there in the 2nd position for River Page. Thurston gets to the 3rd too, and Corey Lyles fading back just a bit, and that might give way for a guy like Molina, Sean Rowe, Matthew Brower, all still battling for spots just behind. 50 laps remaining now, and drivers are inching closer and closer to the end of the show. So far, so good for a lot of these guys. Single file up ahead. Brower going to be back there in 7th. Kenny Rio going to be trouble with Alexander Balderas. He'll have to work by that number 95, and now Daniel Mosteller in that same boat. Daniel's going to drop it down to the bottom side. Side by side they'll go, double file down the front stretch here. It's going to be the only stretch, so it's a bit more challenging to conclude. We said backstretch earlier, but in a sense, that is the front stretch coming down to the start-finish line. There is no true straightaway, save for the one and only where the start-finish line used to be, and now it's a bit more complicated, Phoenix and its layout. A lot of drivers used to prefer the way it was with the start-finish line down the only straightaway on the circuit. Now, as you go into the dogleg, you got to make that corner and get to the timing line just in time. We've seen some exciting finishes as a result of that change. Of course, when it came down to the Daniel Hemrick and Austin Cindric battle in 2021 for the Xfinity Series Championship, a bump and run determine the title. And it could happen today if drivers get bunched up to Sean Conklin. We could see guys roughing each other over for the race win, but so far, Conklin is checked out. He's looking to go for his second win of the season. Got it done at Daytona, but that's always a wild card. Anyone can win at Daytona. A test of skills at a track like Phoenix. The strategy comes into mind much more than a track like Daytona or even Auto Club. Speeds are not always as high, but you got to manage the speed. If you go through quick on a corner, you might find yourself out of control. Too slow, though, and you'll find yourself losing spots consistently without anyone giving you any mercy. Max Molina get it by Corey Lyles, and looks like for Corey, not going too well. Even though he's on a newer set of tire compared to Molina, it looks like he's burnt up his stuff, and now Sean Rowe makes it by as well. This will send Corey down to 6th, and you're going to see Sean Rowe as Corey Lyles is going to hit the transition and nearly lose it. He saves it. Fantastic job there, but loses all that he's worked for, and Lyles was definitely working over those tires, bottoming out, and he'll have to come down to pit road immediately. Nothing more that he can do that time by. Lyles nearly loses everything he had. Pit road is the only way to go, and just like that, caution doesn't fly. Nice save for Corey Lyles. Sean Conklin up at the front of the field with 82 laps in of 125, continues to manage it well, and it looks like for Corey, those tires are done. Nothing more that he can do. Now fades back into 17th, last man on the lead lap. Bob Barris is going to be able to pass him very soon if he stays on pit road, and looks like now Lyles is going to be put one lap down as Sean Conklin makes it across the stripe for lap 83 of 125. And your top 5 as it stands so far in the racing action tonight, it has been Sean Conklin, your race leader almost the entirety of this run. Then from there, River Page going to be position number 2. James Thurston is 3rd. Max Molina is then in 4th. And to round out your top 10, it's going to be Sean Rowe in 5th. Those were intervals at the most recent start-finish line. So last lap, it was a 2.5-second interval between Conklin and Page. And now the blue ovals are up in front. Ford, 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Silver oval is going to make up 4th, then 5th, and outside the top 5, your first Chevrolet is going to be Matthew Brower in the 6th spot in that number 73. Tonight, the Chevys not doing all too well, but they are going to be just outside the top 5 in numbers. You'll see Kenny Real is going to be 7th, Daniel Mosteller is 8th, and C.D. Mangrum having his best run all season long there in 9th. So while half the top 10 is blue ovals and Toyotas, the rest of your top 10 from 6th on down is all bow ties. So the top 5 is a bit misleading in that way. It's only the Fords and Toyotas up there, but look further back and you'll see an abundance of Chevys still putting in very competitive runs. So Conklin leads the way either way up in front, and look further back. One man comes down to pit road, Sean Rowe, and it looks like now 44 laps into the stint with just about 40 laps remaining, splitting this segment. Sean Rowe makes it in this time by, and he will choose to be a bit more safe with his result, making it down and in, knowing there's a lot of time to go. Don't risk what you have. He'll come down to pit road this time through, get that final pit stop on the day. The money stop is here now. The final cycle's on the move, and Rowe's through. Now the leaders might have to come down closer to now. We're expecting to have pit cycle done at around lap 100, and from there on out, we're going to see some hard-fought racing to take us to the end. So far, though, Sean Conklin checking out without a pit road mistake. He might be home free for the win. He just needs to log some laps and keep it on the track. River Page comes down to pit road this time by. River's in. James Thurston goes there with, and Max Molina now gets promoted in a second as Max opts not to go with the rest of the pack there. 45 machine going to stay in second. Matthew Brower now going to be 3rd. 1, 2, 3 as the 73 machine now finds himself 6 seconds off your leading driver, but still inside the podium. And 88 laps in, this is the mass exodus down a pit road. You'll see Thurston's there. Chase Schaefer comes in this time by. Henry Kaloff not too far behind either. And Braxton Whitaker makes it in as well. Sean Conklin through this time by. He'll take Max Molina, take Daniel Mosteller too, and Matthew Brower now leads the way. 88 laps in. Big change as Matthew Brower now finds himself advantageous up in front. And Brower, despite some front end damage, has run very well so far tonight. You'll see there, if you'll get a close-up shot of that 73, he's got some stuff on him. Not only the back end looking to have a bit of damage, but very minor. Might just be some cosmetic with the glare of the lighting, but the front end, it is clear. He's got it pounded in, and that's not only potentially aerodynamic damage, but also could be something on the motor, and he's going to fidget at that time by. You can see inside the cockpit too. Brower nearly loses it and luckily keeps it going. Michael Deitch going to be side by side with him, so Michael on a new set of Goodyear rubber looks to be quicker on the high side, and the number 57 machine working side by side with your race leader, 90 laps in. Conklin going to get back on the way, scoring in 4th right now, and he's the effective race leader of those who have gone down a pit road already. Sean Rowe got out close, and now the Sean and Sean shows up in front, and Rowe's going to be the second of the two Seans, looking to get back up there in the mix. Brandon Dugan's going to be there in 3rd and holding off very strong himself. C.D. Mangrum going to work down low. He'll take it to pit road, and it looks like now very few drivers remaining, and looks like it's Dugan and Brower. Matthew Brower going to opt to go down the pit road, though, leaving Brandon Dugan alone on the track, and the 55 looking to lead at least 1 lap before heading down into pit road. But gets very loose that time by, and going to almost lose all that he had. Gets back on the way, and at the line for Brandon Dugan, it will be the number 55 as your race leader, as you'll let Alexander Balderas go down low. Brandon Dugan at the stripe takes that race lead, and the 55 leads a lap for the first time this season. Matthew Brower now going to find himself on pit road as Sean Conklin comes by. You get the move on, but not quick enough. Conklin going to lead him. Sean Rowe there too. 1 final pit stop. It's going to be Dugan, and he remains out in front, sacrificing the chance at getting back on cycle to get a few more laps led before the day is done. And for Brandon Dugan, a bit of a different goal for this number 55 team. Of course, what they're looking at here is just getting some bonus points, knowing they've been off cycle all night long. Not much a chance to really go for the overall race win, but if there is a chance to throw out a Hail Mary and maybe get some extra time out in front, get some sponsor time for TJ Hanley and TH Designs, that's exactly what Brandon is doing right now. We're watching his lap telemetry, and that time by, it was, of course, a 27.975 he's hoping to beat, and that's his best lap overall. But as Brandon Dugan takes it across the Geico restart zone into the start-finish line, it's going to be a 29.327. So that shows you a huge difference. No parallel, of course, in terms of tire wear. It's a huge deficit lap after lap. For Brandon Dugan and that number 55 machine, hard luck right now. He's trying to stay out there, but he's only 6 seconds ahead of Conklin, so it looks like Sean might be able to cycle back up to him before he even goes down a pit road. So maybe the best bet is to stay on the track and just hope for a caution or maybe something of the sort. But Brandon Dugan risking it all right now. That number 55, Sean Conklin remains second. Sean Rowe is then in 3rd, and that's the way it's gone. 95 laps in of 125 here in the IORA Cup Series. 6 cautions in the first half of the race. Ever since then, smooth sailing. And right now, the drivers are getting bundled up, settled in for another run to finish this one off. And this run is a bit more clustered. You'll see Sean Rose getting right behind Sean Conklin. Sean and Sean show up in front. James Thurston going to be in 4th, and River Page is scored in 5th. Tentatively, these guys are not in the leading battle, but it is going to become the leading group when Brandon Dugan opts to come down a pit road. Splitting Balderas, they'll take him high and low. 95 machine remains in the middle there, and Alexander Balderas does not make it easy. Then goes up top. Looks like Deitch, Thurston, Page all make it by at once, and just like that, number 95 machine loses a few more spots in succession. Brandon Dugan now finds himself with Nathan Palawana just ahead, and Nathan, number 78 machine, making his debut in the all-black number 78. And for Power Smash and Infinity Speed Motorsports, a 3-car group this season, as Brandon Dugan makes it down a pit road this time by, it's now going to be Sean Conklin, your race leader, 97 laps in, and the final battle is now underway. Conklin, Rowe, Thurston. That is your podium as it stands. 4th is going to be held by River Page. Max Molina is then going to be in 5th, and Corey Lyles is now 6th as they make it by yet again. 98 laps in, they've gone this far, and the final stretch is just ahead. Phoenix Raceway will see some trouble with River Page. Page goes way high and gets boxed up by Braxton Whitaker, and now sees Michael Deitch get a pass on him. And River, losing a lot of time with that leading group, hits Michael Deitch, sends him around, and it looks like the caution will not fly. Deitch able to save it, but Page evidently not happy at all. Looks like the last lap has not gone his way, and River Page gonna show it on the track. Taking a look back here, the instant replay will show you when this began and how it transpired to not only affect Michael Deitch, but it looks like it began with Braxton Whitaker. And you're going to see that instance of contact with Whitaker. It leads to them beating and banging once again. That's going to send the 51 way back, and Michael Deitch tries to get a pass. River going to lead him in a bit more, and then come down deep into turns 3 and 4. Slam Deitch out the way, and certainly River Page driving as hard as he could to get away from that situation. Did not want to be up there with the lap traffic, and he wants to get back in the pack as fast as he can. Driving with a vengeance here. River Page gets back on the way in 100 laps in out of 125. They're now going to take it down with 25 laps remaining. Sean Conklin, still your race leader, slowly but surely gaining more time, but Rowe's going to be second and James Thurston is in third. The question is, does Nathan Palawana do anything about the driver who's right behind him? Nathan is teammates with your third place driver in James Thurston and teammates with your ninth place driver in Kenny Reel. The PSISM team does not choose to interfere. It looks like the 78 goes down low and lets the leaders get by easy. Nice, very respectful driving there, so not going to be any interference, and that's what you love to see, these drivers playing it nice. Now 102 laps in. Conklin gets some more room. Brandon Dugan going to fade back a bit more that time by, and Dugan now finds himself in position number 17. Alexander Balderas fades down low, and the back of the field getting into formation yet again. Nathan Palawana is the final man on the 1 lap down marker. Well, we say that he's the final man 1 lap down. He would be the first to get that lucky dog, so he has just been put 1 lap down. Then there's a Michael Deitch 16th, Brandon Dugan 17th, Alexander Balderas 18th, Braxton Whitaker 19th, Will Shack 20th, and TJ Hanley 21st. Of those still racing, that is your order of lap machines. 23 laps to go this time by, coming down to 22. And as always, in FTN, we'll crank it up uninterrupted with the best camera partners and providers on the iRacing platform. With over 100 track and car combinations here on iRacing, TrackCams22.com should be your one-stop shop for all of your iRacing camera needs. Let's crank it up with 22 laps to go, courtesy of our friends at TrackCams22.com. And lap 109 here in Phoenix. Once again, all laps 109 brought to you on FTN, courtesy of our friends at Tangle Paints. And of course, if you want to check out the greatest iRacing paint scheme and livery designers on the market, check out the entire team at Tangle Paints on Twitter with the handle Tangle Paints. It's as simple as that. Told Owen to the entire Tangle Paints team, representing your sim racing identity to the fullest extent. If you want to find out more, check out their Twitter after tonight's broadcast. Lap 109 on FTN, brought to you by our friends at Tangle Paints and Toll Owen. We'll bring you one more message courtesy of Tangle Paints to wrap off our night of promotional breaks and be right back, as with 16 laps to go, we've got ourselves a race to the finish here in the Phoenix 125. And coming back now with 15 laps remaining, Sean Conklin finds himself out in front en route to what could be his second win of the season. Out in front by 2.5 seconds over Sean Rowe. The battle for third remains fierce. It's Thurston and Sean Rowe fighting for that second spot. It's going to be, of course, third as they get out of the second spot. It's going to be back and forth between them. Michael Cormetis puts himself in the middle, but Mikey is a lap machine, so he will not be finding himself fighting for the top three at the end of the day. Gets by him quite quickly, though. Both Rowe and Thurston. Nice move there as he gets through yet again. Looking further back, you're going to see Corey Lyles, who's going to be in 7th. He is going to be right behind Daniel Mosteller. Mosteller's now going to be 6th. Just made it by Braxton Whitaker. And it's going to be Demos up just outside the top 5, making some final moves as the race is slowly but surely coming to its close. Vincent Guecci going to be 10th right there in the number 09. He's going to see River Page getting loose once more, and it looks like Page has drawn up every idea that he could to get back up there, but it has not turned out in his favor. Rivers really loose once again and slides up the track and looks to be all sorts of out of control, sliding through 3 and 4. He might do it all over again. That was through turn 2. Now we'll find out whether or not he can get into grips with the car as he slides in and out of drivers. He's loose yet again, keeps it drifting, and this time fully spins. So I'm not quite sure if they're going to call the yellow, and that they do. River Page was spinning for nearly a lap straight, and the yellow flag will fly. Caution is out. River Page going to lose it there, and with 12 laps to go, we'll have ourselves a restart. Let's take a look back 1 minute in time to see how long River Page was going at it there, loose as it could get, and the number 24 machine surely having some troubles inside the cockpit. Let's take a look inside. And taking a look inside the cockpit of River Page, so far down into position number 12. Not a good spot for him to low. He's been all night long and clearly fighting that car up and down the track for more than a lap's time. This is going back 60 seconds, so it's been going on for at least a lap now, and he's going to bring us to a final dash for the finish, your 7th and potentially last yellow of the day. Take a look at this. This is the moment where River Page ends up going around. And he eventually gets it back going, but River Page found himself nearly out of control for quite some time there, and eventually it caught back up to him. Yellow flag, it will fly. River Page the cause, and with 10 laps remaining, it's going to be Henry Kaloff scored as your race leader. Taking a look back up to your live feed, let's take a look at why that is the case. You're going to see right now, there it is. Henry Kaloff is the leader because of multiple drivers heading down a pit road. Kaloff up in front, advantageous, but now he drops in. Just like that, some changes being made as Sean Conklin is going to hold his own. Then in second, James Thurston is going to be third. And as they go through yet again, the 54 machine's now got himself the prime position for the rest of the way. So the shuffling only temporary, and it looks like the drivers will have nothing to worry about. If you were up in front before, you're going to stay that way, and hopefully now we'll get ourselves a good finish to get to the conclusion. Coming around this time by 10 laps to go as we are under caution here from Phoenix. 10 laps to go, heading down to 9, and it's going to finish off in style with Sean Conklin hoping to wrap up another victory on the tour. This would be his second. He's only attempted, of course, 2 races this season, and actually, I think it's going to be a correction. He was not very upfront in that middle race in Auto Club of the season so far, and we have miscorrected that, of course, thinking he was not there at all. As a matter of fact, Conklin indeed was, just wasn't up there for the win. Now, he's up there indeed, and with 9 laps to go, wants to hold on for what he has. He's been the leader for most of the race, and so far the stats will show you he has been fantastic. He's led 64 laps, more than half today, so he's the odds-on favorite to get it done, and I think that's going to stay that way as they come across the stripe yet again. It's going to be a 7-lap shootout the way things are looking, and Conklin will have the edge as they come around this time by. And going back and forth, and indecisive, Sean Conklin is still swerving as the caution flies 1 lap to green. So it will indeed be a total of only 7 laps left, and Conklin officially decides to take it right down low. Getting back at it yet again, here we will go. Conklin, Molina, Rowe, and Brower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth going to be held and occupied by Corey Lyles, and the last dash just ahead of us. Can they get it done cleanly, or will we find ourselves for the 4th consecutive broadcast in a row going under overtime rules? That's how it's been all week long. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and now for the first broadcast of Thursday, we'll see whether or not they break that streak. Coming down the line this time through, 8 laps to go. We're going to go down to a total of only 7 this time around. Green flag is set to wave once again. Here we go again. 8 laps to go. This time by the Ryko machine's up in front, and he's got the right stuff to lead us down with a 7-lap dash just ahead. And a great start there for Sean Conklin. All he needs is it's going to be both Chase Schaefer and Michael Deitch fading down low. It's a huge cluster right behind him, and they're not done fighting right behind the driver of that number 54. You'll see River Page now going to be in the middle of the equation. Corey Lyles tries to hold on for a top 5. This wide-angle shot shows you almost every driver still going side by side. Thurston and Chase Schaefer nearly 4 wide with Lyles and Brower getting with Mosteller and Page, but still nothing comes of it. 6 laps to go this time by, and it looks like they'll keep it going. Sean Conklin's got that race lead yet again. Can he hold on? It looks like he will. Coming across the line once more. 5 laps to go. Keeping it steady. Sean Conklin still going to be in the place to be. 5 laps left. Sean Rowe right behind. Not bad at all for Sean. Max Molina then going to be 3rd. Caution's out though, and it looks like that is going to be indeed the case. Yellow flag gonna bring us down, and it looks like we will have ourselves an overtime finish. And just like that, yellow flag will fall for Michael Cormetis, it appears, as Cormetis fades back big. Yellow flag once again, and it looks like we're going to keep the overtime streak going this week. I believe, if we're keeping score, this is a record on the channel, 4 consecutive races going under overtime rules. How about that? Not quite sure if we've ever hit that mark before, but if you're keeping score at home, I think we just hit it now. Take a look once again here as you'll see Michael Cormetis, and he's going to find himself in the back of the pack. 4 laps to go. He's going to see Kenny Reel. Reel's going to be right there with them. They're going to drop in line, and now 4 laps to go on the timing sheet and see when the incident occurs. And it's going to be caught in the transition for Mikey. That's what brings out the yellow flag, and looks like nobody else hits him, but still a safety yellow because he did come up the track, and that is indeed a hazard in case, of course, we find ourselves with a driver coming up rapidly with John Smith early. So makes sense. An understandable safety caution brings us back down. And now 122 laps in, it all comes down to this. Going to be Sean Conklin up in front. Money Lions, Max Molina is going to be in 3rd. Sean Rowe is going to find himself in the middle. The Sean and Sean show, it remains that way as Vincent Guecci is going to get some laps back, and here we have it yet again. Going through turns 1 and 2. It's going to be a few drivers getting their laps back. Notably, of course, Alexander Balderas is going to be now on the back straightaway, getting his time. Brandon Dugan's now down on pit road for some repairs. Will Shack finds himself chasing those laps again. Here we go. Sean Conklin, he's up there in 1st. Sean Rowe in 2nd. And the Sean and Sean show is going to come to one enticing end. Overtime rules. So for the 4th time this week, it's an unbelievable count, as a matter of fact. And tonight is the first non-pack track where we're seeing it at. So makes a little more sense that it's going to be maybe a one and done. So far this week, we've seen multiple instances of going double or triple overtime, so here's how it works out. If we get a yellow flag before the 1 lap to go marker, the race will be extended for up to 2 more attempts here in the IORA Cup Series. Maximum of 3. If we go to the 3rd attempt and get a yellow flag either way, race is over. Doesn't matter, the race will end under caution, and that's the way it will go. However, if we make it to the white flag under any circumstance, if the leader crosses the white flag, and it's officially counted as the last lap, checkers or wreckers, race is done. And that's the way it will end. It'll be a yellow flag, checkered flag. That's how it could be. Could be a race to the checkered flag under green. And now, defending FORL champion Max Molina goes up high, gets some track position. Last time he needed to come up big at Phoenix, he did so in dramatic fashion. But Sean Conklin has been an ace all night long, has led more than half the laps today, and wants to keep it that way as they come through for a 2-lap shootout here in Avondale. Let's get it going once again with a green-white checkered overtime in Phoenix. We're back on our way to settle the score in the Phoenix 125. 3 wide, multiple rows deep there for the second spot. You'll see them all fighting deep. 4 wide nearly with James Thurston, Sean Rowe, and Chase Schaefer, and they'll all keep it together. Thankfully, one driver going to get out of sort. Daniel Marceller does too. Do they call the yellow flag? Sean Conklin's coming to the line, and it will not work out. Yellow flag is called. Schaefer, Marceller, we're heading to double overtime, and the race is not yet over. That's going to be the yellow flag called just before the white flag. Let's head to double overtime again and find out what caused this wreck. Now, I'm thinking the yellow flag in this instance was caused, of course, by a lot of aggression. 4 wide there through turn 2 almost never works out, but these drivers, they tried it, and that's what's going to bring us to the yellow flag again. This is your second of 3 overtime attempts. We only have 3. 1 more is still in the back pocket, and we, of course, have already gone through 1. We're in the middle of 3, and we're watching the entire restart all over again to find out what caused this wreck, as Marceller might have to settle for his first finish outside the podium this season. And Demos finds himself 3 wide. It looks like Matthew Brower's going to wiggle, and looks like Demos then gets involved as Schaefer taps himself down to there. The 73 of Brower might have not caused the yellow alone when Michael Deitch and Matthew Brower, even it looks like a bit of a piece from C.D. Mangrum, when they all got involved, it was a certainty. Caution would be called on that note, so that's exactly what brings out the yellow. Sean Conklin leads the way, and we'll get back at it here and now. 54 machine advantageous, and we'll set ourselves up for our second overtime finish. Conklin down to pit road. River Page looks to be there up in front, so Conklin's not on pit road. Looks like a miscalculation. 54 up in front yet again. Let's do it all over here from Phoenix. Nobody going to sacrifice their track position. It matters most to be up in front here and now, and the drivers who are up here, they know that's indeed the case. As they come through this time by, going to be the 95 mission of Alexander Balderas requesting to take a look at his save from this wreck, and we'll have just enough time to fit that in before the restart gets it back on the move. So let's take a look on board with that number 95 and find out what happened with Balderas. As you'll see, sliding, gets it loose, controls it again, and locks it down. Nice and smooth for Balderas. Nothing major, but it's fundamentals that work out as the 95 keeps it together. Nice move for the 95 to keep himself in the top 10. Now double overtime is going to be present once more. Conklin heads to the bottom. Sean Rose up high. River Page is there too. Let's do this once more. Side by side, heading into turn 2. Now going to be on the way to the final turn on the track here, 3 and 4. And it's going to be down on the dog leg. Well, there we'll go. The question now is whether or not they get aggressive once again. First few incidents we've seen in this overtime procedure, they've been caused by a lot of over-aggression, guys going 3 or 4 wide. If they do that again, we're sure to see some trouble. Hopefully, we don't get just that as we come around for the most important laps of the race. Lap 130, the new official ending distance, as the guys come down to the start-finish line for the second overtime attempt of the day. Green flag flies. Sean Conklin leads them. We're back on our way for our second green-white checker. And someone just shot up the track and destroyed multiple drivers. A huge wreck, Brandon Dugan. We're heading to triple overtime now. Point of no return. Now the race is being extended to its maximum distance, and we'll take a look at just why. Brandon Dugan looks to be the cause of this one. We saw someone hit the wall in a violent fashion. Hope it was not the case, and it looks like that hope will not lead us anywhere. Second yellow flag in overtime procedure. This will bring us to our final restart. Triple overtime. overtime here in IORA for the first time this season. And let's find out what caused it here as you see the drivers getting bunched up once again. 3 laps to go. iRacing pace car going to drop off, and we'll watch the entire replay because this incident happened early too. And a beaten bang from Schaefer. Balderas is going to jump down low and immediately drop down to the 3 wide section on the apron. Very risky. We'll see whether or not they bop him for a penalty on hustling it hard in. Nathan Palawada comes up, and it looks like that's what's going to happen for the 55, and that's going to take out Dugan. That is indeed why the caution comes out. Nathan Palawada up to Brandon Dugan. Yellow flag will fall with 3 laps to go. Sean Conklin up in front, and he's got it now. He just has to win the race one more time, as they say. He's gotten to this point, and he is led, as it stands, the most laps by an even wider margin. A total now of 78 laps led on the day out of 131 that have been currently ran. And now, after a long green flag run, River Page getting loose with about 5 laps to go has sent us into a permanent cycle of overtime finishes, it appears. But this cycle ends here and now, regardless of what happens. It's going to be this run that concludes it. The yellow flag has come out twice under overtime procedure from the first incident. We are now up to our 3rd attempt. So no matter what happens here, race will end at the next flag. White flag, yellow flag, doesn't matter. We'll get officially to the end no matter what now. So checkers or wreckers is indeed the truth. Doesn't matter how they wreck, doesn't matter when they wreck. This is the final running of this race in terms of segments. 2 laps to go under pacing. We'll be heading to green flag at lap 134. Lap 135 is a new official ending time, and we have seen ourselves now a total of, I believe, 10 yellows. Your race summary heading into the final segment, 130 laps in, now 132. And it looks like the official distance is saying 134. It'll be extended one more time to be officially 135 when they come across the line. 3 laps to go, 10 yellow flags, 33 caution laps, and now 9 lead changes. But the man who's been up front, he has kept it there, and Sean Conklin remains on the top of the board. Your weather update shows you still 76 degrees, a wind northbound of 2 miles an hour, and very minimal humidity, so nothing much to worry about there. Conditions have stayed the same all night long. Coming around this time by, and let's see what they do. It looks like Sean Conklin has his preferred spot down low. He'll be the control car regardless. And now, set to do it again. Conklin bottom, and it looks like up top it will be Sean Rowe. Here we go for your final restart of the day. 10th and final caution. iRacing official pace car gonna bring him around. Max Molina with some fan support in chat. He's still got an outside chance there within the top 5. James Thurston, River Page. It's all about contending to this point and going from there. Go home, go big, go to the wrecker. It could be a wreck. Could be a fantastic finish. Sean Conklin just wants to get away. He's got the control as they come now to your final restart here in Phoenix. 3 laps to go this time by. Gonna head down to 2 as they come through with Conklin and the Ryco Performance Machine up on top. Let's do it once again with Sean Conklin in full control. Green flag is gonna fly. 54 machine is on top, and we are back on our way with now 2 laps remaining. And they're going to try to make it down to the white flag to not get a yellow to end this one. Deitch Schaefer once again in trouble. Will stay green. No reason to call a caution. They'll stay up in front, fighting for all they have. Sean Conklin remains in the lead, and with 1 lap to go, it'll be Conklin taking it to the white flag. At the long last, the white flag is out, and Sean Conklin will lead him there. 1 lap to go for the 54 machine up in front. The final lap. River Page going to see some pressure from James Thurston. Thurston dives down low, wrecking the back for Corey Lyles, and Max Molina will stay green, and now they'll battle for second off of turn 2. Page gonna try to send it deep, but if there's nothing for the 24, Sean Conklin gets another win of the tour and finds his 2nd win in Avondale, Arizona. Sean Conklin wins the Phoenix 125, getting it done in dominating fashion. Nobody on Conklin's level, and Sean is back on a fantastic streak. 2 wins in 3 races, and the number 54, the man to beat so far this season, gets it done again. Sean Conklin, your race winner, getting it done over the remainder of the field. Let's take your results before he burns down the house here. As he comes down to the start-finish line, Conklin is sure to celebrate. Sean Conklin will win over James Thurston second, River Page third, and Sean Rowe then in fourth. Rounding out the top 5, it's Daniel Mosteller with Alexander Balderas recovering for 6th. Then it's going to be 7th for Michael Cormetis. 8th will be held then by, of course, Chase Schaefer. Vincent Guecci's 9th, Will Shack is 10th, and from there on out, you're then going to see Henry Taloff 11th, Brandon Dugan is going to be 12th, 13th is occupied by Corey Lyles, and Max Molina is going to be the first man 1 lap down, and 15th with Kenny Reel, then 14th. 16th is going to be Braxton Whitaker. Nathan Palawada is going to be in 18th, just behind C.D. Mangrum in the 17th spot. 19th is going to be occupied by Matthew Brower. And Michael Deitch rounds out your top 20, with the final few drivers being TJ Hanley 21st, John Smith 22nd, Marcus Vanderlee 23rd, Chad Thornquist 24th, and Aiden Walker 25th and last. Now coming down to burn down the house, it will be Sean Conklin celebrating his 2nd win of the season. And for Sean Conklin, now going to be driving it into victory lane. The lights are dark, but he'll head up to the top step of the podium to end this race. Conklin finds his way into victory lane again, and for the 2nd time this season, the number 54 comes through on top. How about that for Conklin, coming home with the race victory, and we'll bring him in here and now. 2nd win of the tour. This 54 machine has been unstoppable so far, and a 2nd win to start the season. How do you feel, Sean Conklin? Another win of the tour so early here in Phoenix.
Pretty good. That was pretty fun. I didn't expect to do good tonight, honestly. I was struggling in practice because it takes me a while to learn these tracks. And it took me a while in the beginning of the race as well. But then I kind of got it figured out. And then we had a good run, and I pulled away a bit. And yeah, that last lap was a little embarrassing. I was trying to do a slide across the line. I got sideways, and I got 2 sideways, and then we overcorrected and died. At least we kept the car clean. River hit me, but it didn't scrape the front end up, so we're good. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I like doing this league. It's something fun to do. Other than all the officials I do all week, and it's kind of nice to come in here and just have fun. And yeah, it was a pretty fun race. I somehow made it to victory lane. I coasted my way there, but we made it. So, yeah, I'm still part-time. I don't think I can make it to every race this year. So I do not think I'll be in contention for the points, but I might be back next week. I don't know. I'm kind of on a part-time schedule. I do this when I have time, so we'll see.
And it looks like even if you're not eligible for the points race, you've been putting up a very impressive run to start this season off. The best of almost anyone, save for maybe Daniel Mosteller, and your consistency in victory lane is a match him with his consistency in the results no matter what. And now, another one on the way. Now, you avoided some post-race chaos, but we saw triple overtime to end here. So how was it working with these short runs after one very long stint to get us to the end?
I didn't actually like the long runs very much. I like the short runs because, or yeah, the short runs. I like the long runs better because, I don't know, I was just able to pull away so much on the long run, and it was I think it was all because of when I was doing it 1 and 2. I would keep the right front hot to keep the right rear cool, and I think that's what gave me the advantage on the long run. And I just kept with that for the rest of the race, and we struggled. We struggled on pit road. I had a terrible entry and I had a terrible exit. So I don't know how we kept the lead. I had a horrendous pit stop, but we managed. So I'll take it.
And managing to come home with a second win on the season, Sean Conklin getting it done yet again. Any final thoughts before we head off to the rest of the season after this West Coast swing?
No, that's about it.
And there we have it. Sean Conklin gets it done yet again. Number 54 machine wins his second race in the first 3 races of the tour. Thank you for your time.
Yep.
Sean Conklin going to be moved back with the drivers. He was out there with the voice chat, of course, and now James Thurston and the number 4 will be brought in second on the day. James Thurston, second place here from Phoenix, coming through with a podium finish. How was it like out there in Avondale? A very, very risky race there, especially at the end.
I don't know. I mean, we rebounded to second, but I feel like I was gonna. I mean, I was in the lead at the final pit stops, and then I sped. So that lost me the race right there. If that didn't happen, I was gonna be the leader, and you couldn't pass the leader, so I was gonna win. But just yeah, we got second somehow. But yeah, just pretty good race overall. Happy to get some green flag runs in. There was kind of a lot of yellows, but fun race overall.
And it looks like able to come back, not leading as many laps, not some dominance from this number 4 team, but still getting the result that matters, clawing throughout the field. Looks like he was as low as 18th starting this race, and he had to claw back up. Long runs, short runs, we saw a mix of both, so how was it managing that strategy as time went on?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of shot myself in the foot when I messed up qualifying, started 18th. I had to come through the field, then, I mean, it's just the thing with, like, this car and this track is just, I had the pace to run with Conk, but, you know, you get behind a car or you get side by side with somebody, and you, number one, are going really slow because you're in dirty air and you're right next to somebody, and then number 2, you're destroying your tires doing it, so even when you get by them, you're immediately slow because you're sliding off the exit every single time. But I mean, we made it up there, and I was right there in contention to win it, and it was my mistake that lost the race. And then, unfortunately, I somehow hit Sean Rowe on one of those restarts, and I think I hurt his car. But sorry to him. But just yeah, happy to at least rebound a second. I needed a good finish after like finishing last in the first 2 races of the season.
And a rebound finish, great to have, of course, after our West Coast swing. A lot to look forward to for the rest of the season. Now, coming after one of our shortest tracks on the schedule, what's it going to take to keep the rest of the season the momentum up? Of course, looking for another chance at the championship.
Just good finishes. I mean, I don't even need to win a lot of races. Just good finishes, like we did here. Just as long as, I mean, if you're in contention enough, eventually you will get wins along the way. But it's just important to be there. You know, yeah. To finish first you have to finish, and that's very true. But just thanks to Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports, and hopefully we can keep the momentum rolling.
And just like that, James Thurston gets it done in the number 4 machine podium finish here, getting it into the second spot at the end of the Phoenix 125. Anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's about it for now. But thanks for broadcasting the race, and yeah.
And there we have it. James Thurston pulls it through for a second place finish, leading 1 lap on the day here in Phoenix. Thank you once again for your time.
Thank you.
And with Thurston back on the move, one more driver in the podium today. That will be River Page and the number 24, getting it done third on the last driver on the podium. So bringing River Page in this time by 24, gets it done third place, leading 3 laps on the day. Overall, strong run, pole position, 3 laps, and eventually third place finish to finish it all off. So how was it out there in Phoenix?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of ups and downs, really. Just I was hanging with Chase, whoever was leading that first run. I was hanging with Chase pretty good, and then on the second run, I don't know what happened to Chase. He sped or whatever, or he crossed the choose cone line, and so it was just me and Conk, and he was just he was exiting 4 a lot better than me, and I got really loose at the end of the run. I lost time to him, and I got stuck in traffic, and I got wrecked by Braxton trying to put him a lap down, and then I got wrecked by Michael Deitch trying to put him a lap down, and then my tires were killed, and I just spun out on my own because I don't know. I guess when you get turned twice and then do a half spin, it gets hot. But I got tires on it, and then just kind of drove through the field. The wrecks helped, but I don't know. I'm glad to get third. I wish I could have had something for Conk at the end though.
And it looks like those overtime finishes helping you out big time. Of course, we saw the triple overtime, first of the season, so you saw some trouble. You actually were the man who brought out the first overtime, but eventually saw yourself moving up lap after lap, attempt after attempt. So how was it managing these short runs and see how quick they were to make up spots?
I mean, it was just the same thing that happened last race here, where we just I don't know, I almost wrecked on the first the second overtime. It was just so loose that they just couldn't keep it together. It's just hard on the restarts here for some reason. No one can keep their head screwed on. But I mean, as long I was in the front is the only reason I didn't get wrecked. I feel like so. Yeah.
And keeping that track position away from all the chaos here tonight in Phoenix. Third place finish, getting it done for another solid result here to kick off the season. So with all that we've seen so far, first non-super speedway style track, Auto Club, quick track, not as fast as Daytona, but we're back to a more typical style of racing. So how do you feel the drivers are going to get used to this as the season goes on?
Well, I mean, the first 2 races are both drag tracks, so that's just a whole different thing. This is just a whole different ball game. Everyone's got to get the first 2 races are completely different. Everyone's just getting started back up. So now it's we'll all just get in a groove. I feel like it'll clean up, but I think that segment of overtimes was the worst racing quality we'll see all season because everyone's been gone for a while and Phoenix hasn't been on any schedule that I know of in any league or official. So it's new, but I think we'll get used to it and figure it out and not have those stupid overtime wreck fest every corner. But yeah.
There we have it. River Page getting it done. Number 24 machine pulls it home for a chaotic podium. And is there anything else you'd like to add after night's racing?
Yeah, I just want to thank FTN and you and everything else that goes on with the admins. They did a good job, and Spoke Sciences and all the other people that I have on my car, and everyone for watching. And we had a good turnout, so I'm glad to see that people are still interested in racing. But yeah, it was fun. I had a good time.
And there we have it. River Page, the last man on the podium, pulls it through for the number 24 machine at third in the day, leading 3 laps from the pole. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
River Page on the way, final driver in that top 3. Page posted through for third. It's James Thurston second, and then Sean Conklin winning his second race of the season. A dominant performance, winning 83 laps. And there we have it, the number 54 back on top yet again. We'll be back after a quick break here in FTN because the Highline Racing League is coming up very soon, and we're already prepared for that live stream. We'll be going with it at 9:35 Eastern, so we're going to be back after the brief break here in FTN, and the show will go on with the Texicon Cutstone 200 at the Martinsville Speedway. Thank you all for stopping by to our first broadcast of the day. If you enjoyed the fun so far, we're not done, so check out what else is left on the day. Of course, the Highline Racing League, we'll love to have you there. If you enjoyed tonight's broadcast, be sure to leave a like on the stream and subscribe to the Fireball Talks NASCAR YouTube channel. Your support is always greatly appreciated. From our studios to your homes, we hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation of the Phoenix 125, and we hope to have you all once again as viewers whenever we're live on FTN. We thank you all for your immense support, and we hope you all have a great night.